So what do we got here, Mark? What are we looking at specifically?
This is downtown Chicago. If you were right over here going this direction, this is into the Amtrak station. And the Union Station, we're right on the Chicago River here. This project involved about 60 of these large diameter caissons, and we had to rebuild the dock wall as well. And it was very high profile because how many million people a day are watching what's going on? But this is a little unique in that we don't do much related to buildings. We're usually on the ground, underground, and this project, this is a newer division for us, our Deep Foundations group, and we're actually building the foundations upon which this kind of outdoor area and related high-rise residence will be located. And it's really a neat operation. Some of the challenges with this is, you get a feel for it, but when you have all this large equipment in a very small footprint, which is a lot different from some of the pipeline jobs where maybe you're across a farm field, this, and safety is so important in all that we're doing, whether it's on the job site or pulling out into traffic, whatever it is. So this presents a new challenge for us, but it's a great opportunity for us to grow in some new markets. I love this picture, and I visited this job site and one a couple blocks away several times, and to see the progress as things are going on is great fun for me personally.
Does the company take great pride in the fact that when you're in a high visibility area, like you said, normally you're out in a farm field somewhere, but now you're in Chicago, Illinois, and Michels is everywhere. You got it on the crane there. You know,
Right.
I always get a kick when you're driving Twin Cities or somewhere, and all of a sudden a little Michels truck just goes right by. You know, you're like,
That's one of the things
stuff.
we try to convey to people, that hey, you're representing what Michels is to the rest of the world. And the red trucks are recognizable. There are many stories that are pretty humorous about people running into them in faraway places, but that's our best advertising right there, a big piece of equipment with people working safely and efficiently and building cool stuff.
yeah, we use it as this, not just economic development, but sense of pride for the Fond du Lac region when you start talking about who's here. Michels Corporation just down the road in Brownsville. I mean, people take notice of that. And it tells, I think, a significant story about who we are as a people, just like I think it does for your company when you're in those moments, like the Chicago piece. I love the reflection. I think that's just...
Yeah, there's some great
the craft
perspective
beyond
there.
Thiele's work is, I think the family was right when they commissioned him.
The other thing that I like about his work too is the colors.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can go to each one of these and that's a perspective. We can go down the list here, and even the one next door here.
It's very
with
vibrant, very bright.
With the umbrella, the bright green umbrella.
It looks like my grandmother would.
I mean, it's just it just is so expressive, the colors that he uses on
in their
so
work
many of
sites,
these.
their construction sites. I'm sure
Right,
if you talk
yeah.
to these guys, they'd find nothing about what they're doing is artful or worthy of. But look at this.
And this is a little bit more historical shot. I'm not sure what circa this would be, but this is a little bit older work scene.
We're not seeing the big cranes and you're seeing pipeline and some trucks.
Right, and you can see by what the gentlemen are wearing on the work site, whether that be the PPE or the types of dungarees and things like that.
So the umbrella is still part of the.
They will do that because you have an operator who's out there for 10 hours at a time. I mean, when they're going, they really are. You can't believe how fast they're moving on this right away. This particular shot represents some work that was done in Boston Harbor.
That's where I was going to.
And that was kind of one of our first mega projects, which is really cool. And I love this picture because it's a representation of the people and the technology working together. And without one or the other, you couldn't make it work.
So what is this piece that they're hoisting?
That's
here?
the head of a horizontal directional drilling machine. So you will start on one side of a body of water or whatever, and you ream this way and back and forth, and then you use that same machine on one end to pull the pipe back in. The machine that is either reaming the hole or pulling the pipe in, those machines are the ones that I referenced earlier that we make in Brownsville. A lot of people know us by the quarries because we got 100 pits and quarries in this part of the state. So when people are driving here or there, they see the quarry and then they say, "Oh, geez, is that the same company that does pipeline or does this or does that?" And so that is in this market area a big part of what the public sees us as, providing the aggregate or building the highways. So anyways, yeah. Well,
it would come in handy if you're building highways.
Yeah, right.
Well, this is the piece that I guess I would call it the one that is my favorite, just because of the technique that Thelma used here. But I think there is a fascination with the deep tunnel projects, anyways, because it just, well, for one, it seems fairly dangerous. Yeah, when you look at this and how he painted it and how your focus goes in about 3 different directions, all on one canvas, and then you got your story again, like what you were talking about. There's people down there.
Right. So there, in a large tunnel job, usually you have to build a shaft. So that's what we're looking at here. There are different manners in which to do it, but this is kind of a traditional way with the ribbing and the wood planks. And then usually you get down to the bottom, and that's where you do a lot of the work. And it is the people that work in tunnels, it's a different breed.
I was going to say, you've got to be a little, it's like the guys on the skyscrapers tooling around, with...
And you could say that about some of, or the guys that are on the high voltage structures, 150 feet off the ground or whatever it is. These are true craftsmen that are working in very challenging conditions.
Do you have to worry about like the bends? I know in the old days when they built the Brooklyn Bridge and they put those caissons in the middle, and that was a huge part of that story.
So on some of these larger projects, and especially where you have a long tunnel, so they might be far away from where you could get help, we will have a hyperbaric chamber actually built into the tunneling machine should you have to, they call it, say, make an intervention. And thankfully it's hardly ever used, but it's kind of like the umbrella. You want to make sure you've got it there. And here again, the safety of our workers and/or the public is something we take into account in planning and designing any job. Yeah, this is a really neat piece of work here again. And here again, just very subtly, my eye, I'm drawn to color, and so just a few of the highlights there, and rather this earth tone shot really highlight the people. You're drawn to the bottom where a lot of the work's going on, but if this isn't all done right,
you don't see, and our eye does. Our eye goes all, and then you pointed out earlier. The segment there, that's
a reflection, right? Up to the, so this could be, I don't know on this particular job what the depth of the shaft was, but it could be 150 feet down to the bottom.
Could you really, it looked to me like artistic license, the reflection. Could you see?
You might be able to, sure, yeah. Really? If things are just right with the sun, the right longitude and latitude, you probably could. We've never had any artists take artistic license, have we, Kevin?
Never. Most people in the arts, it's just cut and dry.
Yeah.
But no, I love this piece because there is, like you say, so much going on in it. And then the use of color, even the like you said, the muted colors actually help drive our focus down to what was important to people.
Right. If you look at a lot of Tilley's work, there are people in industry doing something, and that's, I think, one of the appeals of the Michels family, is because the people are so integral to making sure our operations run the right way.